Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, as the title suggests, Willow Tait, the Master Manipulator on General Hospital. If you saw that scene where Drew got that drink spilt on him, and you saw Willow sit there smirking and smiling and laughing after she practically goaded that man to go over there to cause a ruckus, oh, come on, come on. We're gonna talk about all the shows. Let's just think it in the roll call. Amy H is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Queen of the South is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Um, Allegiance is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Ronnie Ron is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Queen of the South is in the chat. How you doing tonight? I hope everyone had a great day. What's good, Sean? What's good, Jarence? Yeah, really. I have another flash shirt. I have to find it. I have another flash shirt. I have to look for that. Something. Of course, Queen, of course. Yeah, Rob, we'll talk about Days of Our Lives as well as all the other soap operas too. So, um, but yeah, Willow is a master manipulator. Let's be real for a hot minute. Um, it's amazing. Here's my issue with Carly doing that. Carly's the type of woman that will sit there and splash a drink in a man's face, but the minute that a man decides that they want to sit there and put hands on her, she'll be the first person to sit there and say she's the type of woman that'll sit there and do something to a man, but then when they want to get physical, then she'll sit there and be like, I can't believe you did that to a woman. I can't believe you sat there and hit a woman. Well, you splashed a goddamn drink in his face. What do you think he's going to wind up doing? Yeah. What's good, Kaiwan? Um, no, I don't agree with that. I don't like women that will sit there and do that to a guy, but then they want equal rights and yet they want special treatment. Like it doesn't work both ways like that. No, I don't agree with that, Ron. I don't agree with him doing that for that reason because it's Sarah. Now he did sit there and say that basic black is not bringing in the money. And that's a reason enough to sit there and cut his division and fire him. If you want to fire him because his line isn't performing, nobody should have a problem with that. But the problem is Xander made it personal. Xander made it personal. Now he's gonna sit there and say, "Oh well, I did this as a business decision." Well, we all know that that's not coming from a business point. That's not to sit there and say that he shouldn't be fired or his line shouldn't be gone. But like that's where it's gonna people are gonna sit there and pile on Xander like always. And the sad thing is that even if what's good, Lily, how you doing tonight? Even if it was just a business decision, people would have still sat there and said it was give me a second to answer one question wrong. People would still sit there and say that it was personal. So like he's in a no win situation. What's good, Dolomedics? I think she's just going about it in this really bitchy way, to be honest. Um, she's what I didn't like today, and I'm gonna have to repeat myself, but now you see what I always say about Stephanie and Hope. Hmm. Um, what's good, Jay Blue? I didn't like the fact that Chanel was putting words in Johnny's mouth. When she was talking to her mother, and she kept doing that. She kept exaggerating situations. She was like, "Oh, he's making it seem like I don't care about, oh, the making business personal thing." Yes, yes, you're absolutely right, Dominic. Yes, she was like, "Oh, he's not there acting like I don't care about Trey." He never said that. He never said that you didn't care about Trey. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? And that's the thing. That's what she kept doing throughout the entire time with Pauline. She kept either exaggerating things or she kept putting words in his mouth. And then after she had that, first of all, he came home and she still was not there giving him an attitude. Honestly, tell you the truth, I would have probably dumped you now a long fucking time ago. I can't deal with women like that to just have that level of attitude. It's like, girl, he just walked in after clocking in, after coming from a meeting. This is how you want to choose to sit there and greet him? And then when she has a pain on her side, she's still sitting there being like, well, I'm going to have this baby whether he wants it or not. I'm like, okay, well, excuse the fuck out of me. Like, you can also sit there and sign those goddamn divorce papers too. Like, the sad thing is that, I think women like that like the idea of marriage, but they don't like actual marriage and that level of respect and communication. I don't like that. Yeah, you still want to sit there and try to move like you single, but you're not, boo boo. Jibu says, I checked myself when Drew found out. Oh, listen, the way that Willow was up there manipulating Drew today was like master class level of manipulation. Oh, by the way, if you're in the chat, hit the like button because it really does actually help. But master class as far as manipulation is concerned. And Tracy's sitting there trying to call Willow all these names like, oh well, she's so conniving. I'm like, Tracy, you had decades of you being conniving and scheming and plotting and just all sorts of messed up things you've done over the years. And you want to sit there and try to start calling the Willow names? Girl, you sat there and you held medicine from your dad when you thought that he was having a heart attack. You don't get to sit there and start judging Willow or anybody else about their sons. Like, yep, Ron, you said that yesterday. So, sure, whatever. I'm not even gonna bother to read it because I already read half of it. You said the same thing yesterday, so I don't know what is with you and this whole I want her reported, but okay. I think my issue is that like I sat there and I was rooting for Leo, but now Leo wants the Dimitri gone. Like, bro, you can't just sit there and man up and be like, okay, I want to be with Dimitri or I want to be with Javi. You want the choice to be taken away for you. Like, you are a grown ass fucking man child at the very least. I'm still in the theory that Drew has PTSD from his beat down in jail. Drew getting with Willow wants to get back at Nina and Michael, but he's actually in love with Willow. That's I knew Dom X was gonna sit there and say this to defend her. In Tracy's defense, Edward was talking smack down to some people, then asked them to call 911 30 seconds later on. But like I said, I just I can't with Tracy. Plus her entitled ass walking in talking about, oh well, who taught you this and like who told you that and you tricked me and you're going after Michael. Listen, let me tell you something when it comes to us Alexis and lawyers. I, I ain't mad at you, double medics. Like I knew. Listen, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. That's the thing, Domex. You've been in my chat long enough where it's like I can kind of see where you're gonna go when I say certain things. So I like to call it know my subscribers. Okay, buddy. Sure, Ron. It's the right thing to do. Got it. Um, I was gonna sit there and say. I'm like, listen, let me tell you something. Alexis don't give a shit about going after Michael or tricking her. Only thing she cares about, well, one is Scout, but two, making sure that damn check clears. Okay, that's the only thing that she cares. Sean says, "Tell it like it is." I, I, I have to, Sean. I have to. Um, I'm telling it like it is, and I don't give a shit who gets upset about it. Like that's my motto. My when I used to sit there and first start streaming, I was too busy trying to appease people and shit, and now I just don't give a shit. I mean, there was a lot in the promo. Thank you, Sean. There was a lot. Like I said, Leo's not there. Can't be bothered to man up and have somebody else take away his dessert, essentially. Um, what's good, Melanie? Stalker dude, whoever it is still coming after Stephanie's dumbass. And I'm pretty sure Jeremy's going to get blamed because at this point, why not? And who knows who Liam wound up beating somebody's ass because he got that cut on his fist when he's taking his child to sit there and get a checkup. It's funny, and I'm not trying to. I feel like when people sat there and said that I felt like it was Willow all along, I was like, how? How did people sit there and just think it was Willow all along? Like in all reality, there were people that also had just enough motive, if not more. Curtis literally at one point was going to pay a million something dollars to get Drew out of his life for everything that yeah, okay, Ron. Um he was going to sit there and pay $1 million to get Drew done. Michael had every reason in the world to sit there and take out Drew. In all reality, Willow had the least. I mean, she had the least reason out of like Portia and Curtis and Michael. So when people sit there saying that, like, I always thought it was Willow, it's like, even though that Michael actually had more. Mm, I feel you, J Blue. I do. I once says I scream this on Twitter all the time. Albert, I scream it on Twitter all the time. I think I think the Raiders rewrite it to be well because they can't find out anybody else in the cast that cut their okay. What reveal, Albert? I was going to make a hole with it. Willow couldn't shot, but now against the fans, what about it? What about what? I don't even know what I just wrote. Yeah, I had no idea what I just read. Like, what about what? I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't even like. I mean, I'm piecing together that like they probably just put Willow as like maybe um you know like maybe you think it's the last minute or whatever. David says I don't agree that Willow had the least motive. She blamed Drew for losing kids, even though she was also responsible. She compartmentalized it. Compartmentalized it. Mm. I don't know. I just it's cool. I mean, I know people are going to disagree with me. I just, like I said, from my standpoint, I feel like compared to other people, like Michael had a stronger reason. Yeah, that's a good reason, but I feel like it's also very counterproductive, though. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just, besides the whole like silhouette thing, honestly tell you, I feel that most people are now just saying, "I always knew it was Willow," and it's like, I think you just didn't like Willow, so you wanted to be Willow. Um, it's like unless you was in the writing room, that's like, hmm. I mean, I'm not snitching saying that's not a reason. No, I'm not. I'm not snitching saying it's not a reason. I'm just snitching saying like I just felt like the other people had higher reasons. Um, but now the question is, what are Trina and Kai going to do? Right? Because people yesterday was like, oh, they better come forward, they better come forward. And today they're like, Trina was like, all right, let's go to the police station. Let's sit there and turn Willow in. And I was like, yeah, let's not do that because of, all the laws that we broke, um, us possibly serving jail time. And even if we're able to somehow skate off of all that, we still got to deal with Big Bad Drew and the power trip he's going to be on to sit there and ruin their lives. So between all that, I wonder what they're going to say to Alexis to sit there and because honestly, tell you the truth, there was like listen, we could skate. They have to sit there and reopen the investigation and start over again, essentially. And I'll buy Drew enough time to make sure that they ruin Trina and Kai's life. Exactly. That's exactly. Sean. She there to collect a paycheck. She ain't there. She ain't worried about Tracy and her Karen like ass. Kai and Trina will definitely get jail time when they come for it. Should they tell Joss? Ooh, should they tell Joss? I mean, they better have a hell of a good way to sit there and spend that shit. I know that much. Well, what else? I'm like, what else my damn food? Like, I'm getting hungry. Says, what's your take from the conversation between Johnny and Xander? Also, what's good, Island? Also, he's saying that he is covering for Theo. Conversation was good, Cherry. Yeah, that's an option, J Blow. It's an option. Use Jack. Shit. Put that girl in enough danger. Maybe he owes her. What's my thoughts on the conversation? I mean, it was nothing riveting, Ron. I will. My only thing I will sit there and say about that is there's a reason why he showed Johnny that manuscript from Bonnie. Um, I want to know what it is. I want to know why because that wasn't by accident that he showed that manuscript and then say, yeah, listen, we can't really use it. We can't use her script or whatever. We just got to sit there and focus on stuff in it. Um, Island says Kai is dragging Trina down with his stupid attitude. He needs to kick rocks. On the other hand, I like Michael and Jacinda. Well, okay, I respect your opinion. I disagree. I don't really understand how is Kai dragging Trina down when Trina has been acting like nothing but a damn brat with her whole parents and everything like that. And the way that she sat there and talked, it was good, Mom. The way that she sat there and talked to Kai with this disrespectful tone of, you're going to listen to what I say with an attitude and didn't even bother to sit there and try to hear him out. And he had to sit there and stand his ground. So I don't really understand. What's good, Susan? Respectfully, I don't understand how is Kai dragging Trina down when she's been being a brat and having such a bitchy attitude. Like I maybe I'm missing something. What's good, Susan? How you doing tonight? What's good, Gay Mama? Like seriously, the way she was up there talking to that man, like, oh well, remember the last time you didn't listen to me? Excuse me? I was like, yo, girl, is he your boyfriend or is he your goddamn slave? Like, and honestly, thank you. I respected his decision. Wow, we writing everything in all caps. Okay. What's good, Spider Quick? I understand your point. I just hate Kai because he's boring. Trina can be judgmental though. Okay. Of course, Susan. GH was bad. Like, I like seeing Brit, but she could have been on yesterday because today wasn't a Friday episode, it was a Wednesday episode. And what's good, Susan Turner? I would hope Kai and Trina ask for immunity, then tell Justine what they know. Yeah. Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. I just wanted to make sure we were good. That's all. Um, yeah, that was their original plan, right? That was their original plan. It was like, listen, let's try to sit there and get immunity. Yeah, but I knew it was not a malice though, Spider. So it's cool. But getting immunity is not going to sit there and stop the evil congressman known as Cutthroat Quartermain. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't. I was getting really annoyed with Brad today. Brad and his hating ass attitude. He would have this victim mentality in the sense that acting like he doesn't understand why Jason don't like him. Like, yeah, if I was Jason, I wouldn't bail her. I wouldn't bail his ass out of jail as well. What's good, Krista? I wouldn't bail his ass out of jail either. You left being a scumbag. You come back being a scumbag. Like, then you sit there being all like, oh, well, when he dumps you and this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, listen, I'm gonna be honest, just because you ain't getting no dick, don't sit there and get upset with Britt because she's gonna get something. Like, nah, bro. No, I didn't notice that. Like dead ass serious, like, come on, like, listen, Cherry, we all adults here. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and sugarcoat that shit. Susan said that's true, but Drew could be in trouble for blackmailing Portia. Yeah, I mean that's still ongoing, but I mean, Susan, let me tell you something. That's not gonna stop Drew from trying to make somebody's life a living hell. I mean, he is jealous of his own nephew. Like the way he was sitting there trying to tear into Michael, his own family. Like, how messed up is that? This guy was literally foaming at the mouth, pretty much. Aiden said, yeah, she had a coat on in the original scene, then in the flashback, she didn't. And that's the thing. Yeah, like, thank you, Aiden. I didn't notice that. Sitwell can take care of Jerome. Probably should at this point. Ron, I didn't answer that question the first time, so I don't know why you asked that question again. What's good, Big Nate? Yeah, exactly, Jake. It's weird as fuck. Like, imagine your uncle sitting there in a courtroom full of people sitting there saying, "Da, da, 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 I hate you, blah, 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 blah." Like, what are you talking about, bro? Sean says they do take the scenes and use what they want. Yeah, and then somebody definitely gonna get fired in that damn editing room. Spider Quick says, "Yeah, I heard it was oh, a stunt double who originally did the scene, then redid it with Yellow. Oh, with Willow when it was time to reveal it. Willow actress said, "No, I knew who the shooter was until they filmed it." Oh, they didn't know. Okay, what's good, Darby? And then it says, "How will Willow get rid of Drew?" Aiden says, "One second, sorry." Aiden said, "If Kai and Trina went to Turner, she didn't need them to testify. They just need to point her to Willow call logs and ping her phone showing it was in Drew's house." I don't know. I don't know if that would necessarily work because I'm pretty sure Alexis would want to cross-examine that. You know, I don't know. What's good, Darby? Since according to Willow actress, only the story writers knew who it was the whole time, and Willow and the other actors found out filming the trailer. Makes sense. It makes sense. You know, they probably they did something similar with the whole they did that uh, with the hook killer probably. So as well, a lot of times they just sit there and say, "Hey, just shut up and act." And then they find out last minute and everything like that as well. But yeah, Queen says if they can convict Michael and GH for Drew's shooting, I'm done with GH. Well, Queen of the South, what else do you watch besides General Hospital? I'm gonna be honest, LaShawn. That whole thing doesn't even make LaShawn. That whole thing doesn't even make sense. So like Jack is not there bargaining with Victor, like, hey, listen, I'll give you Mitch McCall, I'll give you Matt Clark if you give me the AI. And if Victor says no, then what? What are you gonna do, Jack? You're gonna sit there and just let him go? And then anybody that he hurts, you're gonna be responsible for? Not to mention the fact that you are harboring a fugitive. Like I don't understand. Like that was your big play. Your big play was to go over there, present him like he was some sort of pinata, and be like, "Hey, listen, you can sit there and have him if you give me the AI." And Victor says no. Then what? Like I don't. The writing. Okay, so you watch YNR and B and Beyond the Gates. Okay, well you be fine. Fred Crick says, the flashback scene we saw at the trailer when Willow was on trial the week before Willow found out she was the shooter. I have to go back and look at it, but I'm not gonna be honest. I don't even remember that. I think it's most likely due to the fact that I watched so many soap operas. It's just like what's Beyond the Gates. I'm gonna be honest. Like that's another one that's like every episode just comes across as depressing as fuck. To be honest, every single episode just comes across as depressing. It. Listen, I'm a content creator, so like I gotta watch it. I ain't recommending nobody else to watch it. Seemed like it would just. It literally seemed like it just was. Why do you not remember the flashback? It was yesterday's episode. A lot of soap operas. Like I said, Spider. I watched 5 soap operas. Um, so like not all the flashbacks and everything like that are details And I didn't get a chance to actually write any notes either. So I just watch a lot of soaps. I watch all five of the soap operas. So some stuff is going to want to slip me through the cracks, unfortunately, especially um, since I didn't really write any notes, and I'm kind of just doing this more off the cuff than anything else. I don't know how to do so. Yeah, and then she'll probably want to face some charges. Like what guy said, she'll probably want to face some charges. I mean, yeah, you can go right out there and be like, hey, listen, da 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 da. Next thing you know, they're gonna be getting some jail time. So like, all right, go right ahead. What's good, Tracy? Because remember, Willow birth name was something. Either well, I think it's more of a theory than anything else, but um, I think it's just more of a I think it's just more of a fan theory, to be honest. And everyone's been just saying it about Drew. Everyone has sit there and said, "Oh, Drew's not Drew. He's really Shiloh." Yeah, okay. It's a theory. But, everyone has theories except for me. So, but I think I was probably asleep by that time. So I mean, I would sit there and think this much very quick. I think that would be an interesting thing for them to do on the show. Like like that'd be an interesting story that they can tell. Wow, that'd be interesting theory that they can do on the show. Oh, goodness, this shit was not made out of full fucking glass. Holy shit! I could just tap that bitch. Um, did you? Tracy says you think Willow will be found guilty. I think she has to be. I think she has to be found. Oh, you think she'll be found innocent? I think she would have to be found innocent because if she's found guilty, then she's going to jail, and that pretty much will be the end. Like the actress at that point pretty much be gone. Like I don't see the actress thinking. I don't see the actress staying on the show if they convict her. So, well, like I said, I think it's an. I think it'd be a good. I think it'll be a good story. So, but I wouldn't sit there and say he's on to something because that's like just saying that Drew's not really Drew, that he's really Shiloh. People have been sitting there saying that for years. So it's an interesting story, and I'll leave it at that. Absolutely did Spider Quake. That was Willow Snitton manipulating Drew. That was Willow manipulating Drew. That's why I put the title Master Manipulator. Hayden says I think Willow would have been a good villainess if she didn't go after Daisy or Michael. Uh, yeah, exactly. That's her sit there flexing her ability to sit there and manipulate him. Um, but again, my whole thing is like people sat there and said for years that she was boring as shit. She was boring. She doesn't need to be on the show anymore. Her and Michael are boring. They don't need to be on the show anymore. Michael makes all his love interest boring, and now she is doing stuff like moving around Daisy, which I'm not gonna lie, people are act. I'm gonna be honest, and maybe this is just me being a dick a little bit, but like people are sitting there acting like Willow did like the worst thing ever when she was hiding hiding Daisy. Like she didn't literally sit there and fully kidnap her. She just moved the baby around from one place to the next. Then she gave him back. Like I feel like people are kind of like blowing that out of proportion. Like she stole the baby. Oh my god, she stole the baby. She took the baby for like a 2 minute walk. Like relax, people. Was just that Michael said she was capable of shooting Willow. Yeah, she hit the baby for like 2 minutes. Like I'm not listening to saying I'm not listening to saying it's a good thing. I'm just not there thinking that like people are like she needs to sit there and pay for hiding Daisy for like 2 minutes. People like here's the thing. I've seen people do much worse things. Yeah, it's not like she took the baby and just like ran with him and just kidnapped the baby. Like Nina literally sat there and let me put it this way: Nina sat there and stole a whole fucking baby and was about to go to Canada. And people are mad at Willow because she hit the baby for like 2 minutes. Nobody's not there talking about when Nina sat there and kidnapped that goddamn baby and was gonna just go off to Canada. Michael says, I'm glad they made Willow's interesting with Drew as much as I hate Drew because Michael and Willow were. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And and Spider Quick, you were there. You were there. We used to always sit there and talk shit about Willow and Michael. And like I said, I'm not sitting there saying, like, oh, that was a really good storyline. I'm glad that Willow did it. It's like, no, but like, Willow hit the baby for like, what, 2 minutes? Nina sat there and induced labor and then took Ava's baby for like, was gonna like take her out the goddamn country pretty much. For a guy who doesn't want to see as a Zenit, you are defending a thoroughly evil person. Thoroughly evil? He kidnapped the baby for like 2 minutes. Like, bro, it's like I've seen soap opera characters do much worse than what Willow did. Let's not sit there and try to act like she did the most evilest thing ever. Like, oh my god, she hit a baby for 2 minutes. Relax. Like seriously, relax. It's not we still need to get justice. Yeah, good luck with that. It's funny, a lot of people say that. Um See, that's another thing though, right? What's good, Eagle? We are we are guilty of calling Willa and Michael boring, but new Michael is not boring. He might be their lead man actor of the future of the show, and Willow will win Best Villain this year. Listen, after all the different soaps that we sat there and watched, and the characters that have done some really actual messed up things, like this was pretty low on the bar of like characters doing some messed up stuff, right? Like really low. Like low, 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 low. But people don't like Willow, so anything that she does, if she breathes too heavy, people are gonna sit there and have an issue. So I'm not gonna play that game. No, 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 no. Not as far as members are concerned. When y'all were in the chat, we sat there and we watched Michael Cambius. Like, you want to sit there and talk about evil? Like one one second, I'll go. How do you feel about Xander firing Brady? I personally don't blame him. I blame him as far as making it personal. He already said that his division wasn't doing well. So like that would have been grounds enough to sit there and fire him and be like, I'm shutting down basic black. Okay. He wants to sit there and make it personal because he was dating your ex-wife. So what? You gonna act like a damn man child about it and abuse your power as a boss to sit there and teach him a lesson? Like really, bro? Like that's some real petty shit right there. Like I'm sorry, but that's some petty shit. That's a bitch ass move. I'm sorry, but that's literally what that is. And but the sad thing is though, Spider Quake, is that it's a double edged sword. If he would have fired him, but like, you know what, listen, you're Basic Black ain't doing good, so we just gonna get rid of you. People would have still sat there and gave him shit and be like, well, you only fired him because he's dating Sarah. Like, I feel like in a sense the character really couldn't win, but like I didn't like the fact that he made it personal. Island says Victor Lord, Stephen Demare, Victor Newman, Miko, Stargros, Helena, and Stefan were truly evil characters. Willow and Drew are complete jokes. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Isla. And like I said, there was people that was worse than Willow. Michael Cambius from All My Children. Alistair Crane from Passions. Um, Vincent Clark from Passions. I disagree. His personal Xana and Brady are cousins, I think. And yes, Xana and Sarah are over for now. There's still a code where you shouldn't get with a family member. Eh, all right, well, we gonna agree to disagree on that. I personally, maybe it's just because I'm an asshole. Um, I don't do codes. Like, if your marriage is over, your marriage is over. Okay, if I like her, I like her, and I'm going out with her. I don't give a shit about your damn feelings about that. You need to be boo boo, and you need to like find a way to get over that shit. Um, and again, here's another thing, Spider Quick. You're basically Smith is saying that I'm going to bring personal feelings into a business decision. Maybe because of your age that you just feel like that's the way to go when it comes towards business, but like you don't bring in personal feelings when it comes towards business decisions. You're not gonna understand that because we're different ages, so we're just gonna agree to disagree, but like you don't do that. You don't bring in feelings, your outside feelings into a when Kane turned on events, Kane really had us fooled. This, yes, here's my whole thing, Eagle. The fact that Phyllis, out of all fucking people, was making sense and this, and you need to stop. You need to sit there and stop pursuing. You need to sit there and stop pursuing Lily. That okay, that still doesn't imply that you fire someone. Like, okay, you're basically Smith there saying like, I'm gonna fire you because of personal feelings. It's not a business decision. It's personal. It's you know what I'm saying. Like you're still making this personal. Like I guess you just think that like business and personal feelings should be intertwined. Okay, if you think that, okay. But business is business, and personal is personal. You don't sit there and mix the two. That's literally the definition of bad for business. Eagle says Phyllis is right because she had experienced being turned down by a terrible washed up rock star. Phyllis upgraded as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, and she kept just saying like, "Yo, listen, you are." She's gonna constantly keep moving the goalposts, sending you mixed signals, and let me tell you something about his fucking kids. Okay, I've never had so much as disdain for somebody's fucking kids before my entire life. And the sad thing is, we don't even get to see them. We don't even get to see his kids. Or, the fact that they act like that, like, listen, I still think that Trina is a shitty ass person for the way that she is, for the way, oh, I was saying about shit, Phil is a shitty person. I don't remember. There should be no two reasons. You're not getting it, and it's cool. Um, you shouldn't fire somebody because he got with your ex-wife. Like that's you know what I'm saying. Like that's a whack ass move right there. Like there's no compromise with that. It's either you're gonna sit there and keep this 100% professional and leave your personal feelings at the door, or you're gonna bring them in. It's gonna be bad for business. You can't mix two of those. Like like you just I don't remember what I was meant to say about Phyllis, but the point is, oh, Trina. Trina's not there being shitty to her mom. Her mom, who is pregnant, is petty as fine as Xander. Anger always gets the best in. Exactly. And this is what I was meant to trying to explain to Spider Quick is like you can't mix business with feelings. I would have been okay if you would have fired him because his division is not bringing in money, is losing money. But you firing him because he's dating your ex wife, so what? Like that's not a reason. You don't mix business with what I'm saying, like with feelings. Like that's bad for business. I don't give a shit if his divorce was tomorrow. I want to sit there and date Sarah, which I don't know why the hell I would, but like I'm gonna do that. I do like how they tied in the ringtone to knowing who were there that night. Yeah. McCurk says, "Do you think Danny is the carrier because they made a whole?" She is. I don't know if you watched the taste by the quick, but just a spoiler for you. Sorry to spoil it for you, but she is. She's a carrier, so do you think Danny is the carrier because they made a whole big thing with Cat? I feel like the results were switched out, and Nicole really has the gene. I think Chelsea and Naomi tested negative. What do you mean what you mean like they switched the what do you mean switched out? Like they decided at the last minute to change it? Like the show decided to change at the last minute, or somebody switched the results? What do you mean? Do you think Alexis really does believe Willow is innocent? I think she does. I think she does. I think she learned her lesson from Julian. And when she was dating Julian, I was asking if you think Nicole and Danny test results are switched out. No, I don't think so. I'm not gonna lie, Spike. Quick. I don't think the show's that creative. Like, I don't think the show's that creative. I think it is what it is. No, I don't think they switched it out accidentally or on purpose. I'm just so goddamn. I'm just gonna be honest, Spike. Quick. I'm just so goddamn tired of that story. That was good, Queen Jess. Was good, Jonathan. I'm just so goddamn tired of that story, and unfortunately, we gotta sit there and bear and grin more of it. So, but like I said, well, also hit the like button. No, seriously, hit the like button. It's like 42 people, and I'm kind of nervous to sit there and see where our like situation is. But yeah, Willow Tate, the mass manipulator. Oof. Yep, it's not exactly where I want it to be. Thank you, thank you, Sean. Yes, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We have a good time. So I got some stuff set up this weekend. Maybe. Willow is the female Terry Silver from Cobra Kai. Johnson says, "Do you see the look on Willow's face when Carly?" Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. She's a master manipulator. Yes. Have a good night, Sean. I will sit there and see you tomorrow. We have some fun, man. I'm not gonna lie. That Cobra Kai was actually a lot better than I thought it was ever going to be, especially for something that started off on YouTube. I will sit there and say that much. But yeah, she's a master manipulator. She egged Drew on the entire time and then sat there and acted like, oh my God, please don't go over there and do anything reckless. Seriously, Eagle, I've seen YouTube like originals before and like like that one was a lot better than I not that it deserved to be, but like for YouTube. And that's the thing, I've seen people were talking about it like I had customers that would come in and start talking about it and stuff like that. So after a while, I broke down. I was like, all right, fine, fuck it, I'll watch it. And I watched it. I was like, yo, this shit is actually pretty fucking dope. What's good, Tommy? Jess says, I don't get why Sonny and Laura can't figure out what to do about Sitwell. Hello, get rid of him. Oh, it's all good. It's all good, GH man. Wino was actually pretty decent, Tommy. What's good, Mitchell? Wino was actually pretty decent. I don't know what Reinhard is doing. I'm gonna be honest, Jess. I don't even know. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know why Sonny and Laura are actually on this episode. They didn't do a damn thing in this episode. They really didn't. This is this is where this is where it always just like blows me every time I sit there and see Sonny and Laura. Is like, what did y'all two talk about? What did y'all accomplish today in the episode? Like seriously, all they said was towards the end. Well, they talked about Luke, and they was like, "Oh, well, um, what was Sonny's plan? Oh, well, we're just gonna wait and wait and wait until until Sitwell makes a mistake. So you're gonna beat him through the process of osmosis? Like, really? Is that what you just said to me? You just sat there and said, well, he's gonna get full of himself. We just gotta sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait." Oh, okay, that's a good plan. Okay, you're gonna what? Fucking kill him by old age? Like what? Age fan. So what's been the biggest topic of the night? Willow Tate. Willow Tate, a whole mobster allowing himself to be blackmailed. Yeah, that's his big plan. His big plan is to sit there and just wait and just wait him out. I mean, Sitwell does look older than Sonny, so I guess he kind of can. Craig says, I think a nurse might have accidentally switched the results Nicole has to Gene and not Danny. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'll be completely honest. What's good, Pam? What's good, Pam? I'll be honest. I don't. I don't think I guess because I'm just so not like. I so don't. I so don't care. Like and that's the sad part. Is like I don't really give a shit. Unfortunately, I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want anyone to have that gene, but like if Nicole actually had the gene and not Danny, I still probably just wouldn't care. I don't know. Maybe just because this whole story is just fucking depressing. Um, yeah, I don't care who has it, because it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the exact same shit. Like, and then Cat throughout the, and then Cat isn't it this saying, well, I apologize for missing Graham's thing yesterday, but in all fairness, I really thought y'all were gonna sit there and what did she say? Have an intervention towards, have an intervention. Wow, Cat, you really think that you're just that important, right? You think you're just a center in the universe. Graham calls you and it just has to be about you. Like, god damn. Listen, I think no matter who they go to, Kai and Trina are gonna be screwed in some way. So but oh, I did not mix that well. Someone says, I hope Liz helps Drew. She's the only person who treats him good. Hmm, that's the first. I can't tell if you're trolling with that comment, but okay. But yeah, Tommy, if you're still in the chat, Wino was good. I don't know what they're doing with the writing of Wino. I really don't. For anyone that watches YNR, which I would recommend over Beyond the Gates, but I don't know. I didn't want Michael to forgive Jacinda. She really didn't help him in any way. Like I said, listen, her whole purpose was to sit there and be his alibi, and she couldn't even be bothered to do that right. And she sat there and blindsided him. Was good, Black Mon? And then she sat there and blindsided him. And then said, "Oh well, I only did it because I liked you, and I didn't want you to throw me away." And I'm like, is that supposed to make him like you now or something? Apparently, it did because he started making out. So um, I'm like, I don't know. Listen, bro, I don't know what you and her did in that damn bedroom that made you that sprung on this chick, but okay. Right. Talk about, I don't want to tell you because we wouldn't get to spend time together like I would have kicked her. See, that's exactly what I said. Yeah, she had one goddamn job and you couldn't do that right. And then you want to sit there and return the money, which, okay, fine. But girl, you bad with money. You think the little bit of money that you have is going to be enough for you to get out of town? Listen, I'm not saying that you're trying to pimp this chick out, but I'm like, yo, you, what's good, Shaquana? I think that's how you pronounce the name, Shaquana. Um, like, girl, at this point, you better off sitting there being with Boyles, Ezra Boyles. It is Shaquana. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. Seriously, Jerry, you've been in my chat long enough to know just how bad I am with names. Like, does Michael think she's only sticking around because she likes him? She's obviously likes his money too. He needs to wake up. Yes, let's everyone say what's up to Shaquanda. So everyone give her a warm welcome. Well, why? I mean, the CBS soaps sometimes they just have bad writing. Silly is kind of a okay. I guess that's a word you can use, but um, they have bad writing. Now he has some sort of program installed to sit there and destroy whatever person that steals it from him. That just came out of nowhere. He just out of nowhere. Exactly, exactly. Because she's a mass manipulator. Yeah, welcome AI. Yep. It's just amazing to me that like he finally listened to Phyllis and was like, you know what? Because I have to tell you the truth, his kids are a bunch of fucking ingrates, like just straight up fucking ungrateful ass fucking. And the sad thing is that like we don't even see that. We don't even see that. You know, it's actually really funny, Shaquanda. You know, most people may not know about this actress, but when I sit there and think about Willow and a cult and everything like that, I think about the Smallville actress that was also in a cult, and now she got out and she's doing all these good things or whatever. And I don't know, it just makes me sit there and think like I think she's being genuine when she expresses remorse and trying to do better in the way she talks. But then I sit there and I think about Willow, and Willow is manipulative as fuck. She wanted doing an interview with her co-star, and that was actually like the only interview that I sat there and watched from start to finish. And if you watch, she kind of it's like it makes you not want to be like it makes you not want to crucify her. Like, well, what more can you do to her that like she's not thinking about every day? But then some people think that she's not being sincere and she's just manipulating people. So, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's a gene thing, but like, just the simple fact that she grew up in a cult. You know what I'm saying? Like, she grew up in the cult. So, being manipulated, she learned how to sit there and manipulate other people. She learned how to manipulate other people. I don't think they're gonna have a choice, Shaquanda. Because I mean, listen, they definitely listen. Trina and Kaya are definitely looking at jail time. And if they don't get jail time, then they're going to sit there and get all the smoke from Drew. Really think that's actually. I know it's probably an oxymoron asking you about like anything law related, but like You really think that's actually going to be enough to you know, you really think that's going to be enough to actually do anything? Like, aren't they going to want testimony and being none of all the evidence isn't even enough? Hmm. Dobby says, does Kane's children take the time to talk to their father, or do they blindly follow their mother Lily into hating their father? At least when I'm angry at my dad, I can talk or argue with him. Yeah, and that's the sad thing. They probably do. And again, the way that they sat there and they just cut off their dad, we're not even gonna bother to sit there and listen to you. We're not gonna bother to sit there and have communication to try or anything like that. They just really shows you just how ungrateful that they are. And listen, Lily is such a shitty ass fucking character. I'm gonna be honest. Hmm, that's true. She's just okay now. Jay Blue says, are Trina and Kai thinking that Alexis will protect them instead of going to the DA? She's a shooter's defense attorney who has her own invest interests in you know, making sure that she can see Scout, as opposed to being an actual fucking lawyer and petitioning the court. Like she has a fucking law license, but that will require makes sense. Eagle says, I can't stand Lady neither. She's the type of chick, if you don't give her 100% in the relationship, she will play her teenager games. I'm confused. I thought we had something. Exactly. Because that's exactly what she wound up doing. That's why I was so glad. Like I said, Eagle, as much as I don't like Phyllis, let me when Phyllis is the voice of reason, you fucked up. You fucked up when Phyllis is the voice of reason. What's good, Kevin? Seriously, Shaquanda. Yeah, it's weird. But to be fair, Kevin, it's unfortunate. Like we don't know what wound up happening behind the scenes stuff. This is why parents tell kids stay out of grown folks' business. Meetings, stay out of yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, Trina didn't learn that and start just mouthing off to everybody. Start getting up in Jordan's face, start sitting there acting stink to Curtis. Now she's sitting there doing that with Portia. And at this point, the internet is pretty much telling Trina to sit her ass down somewhere and stay out of grown folks' business. Yeah, Shaquanda, it's funny. Like we, on the weekends or whatever with the member circle, we watch a lot of old school one live clips and stuff like that, and all my children, and it it's such a blast in a sense, especially when I live because that was the show I first started watching. I didn't watch the revival, unfortunately, but I was watching them when they had Todd and Colin and Troy and Blair. Like y'all sit there and think that Carly's a firecracker. Blair was the original. At least writers are giving Trina and Kai. So that's true. That's true, J Bloom. She was listen. She was the OG. But you know the thing is, Shaquanda, watching some clips from All My Children, I appreciate it a lot more because I didn't watch it the first time, and like watching some of the stuff with Erica Kane is just so. I didn't even realize he said that. You know, listen, there's a reason why Erica Kane is like the queen of fucking daytime, right? Fucking queen of daytime. But yeah, no, Blair was that chick, and of course Asa. I mean, like I said, you can have a character like Asa now, right? Like Asa Asa was so offensive. Like now, like I used to love fucking Asa back in the day, but like you can't have a character like Asa now. She might be the queen of daytime, but she was not the best actress. Yeah, I did exactly, J Bloom. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Victor. I'm just not just saying like no. Well, thank you for remembering, Darby. I did actually meet Erica, Susan Lucci in real life. That's true. That's true. He was. He was similar, but he was. But like I said, Asa was just a fucking character on his own. You know. She's yeah. That was like one of his. That shit became a fucking meme later on. I love how Darby says "I know" as though like, and as though I sit there and say that story like all the time. And she asked if you remember. Oh yeah, I get that. I get that, Jonathan. No, but I saw the previews. I think when I started watching, Tia wasn't on the show because I started watching in 1998. Look at Aints. How do you feel about Xander firing Brady? Um, Unprofessional. But you know, and that's the thing, Aints. I feel like it's a double-edged sword. Like Xander had cause to sit there and fire Brady because his division wasn't doing well. So he could have just been like, you know what, listen, I'm not going to sit there and deal with your division. You're not making us money or anything like that. You're fired. Oh, Taya, thank you. No, I know, dog, but like you acting like I told that story like all the time. I felt like it was petty, and I felt like it was unprofessional. Just him being like a petty dick. Like, Taya, thank you. Which I'm not gonna lie, I did actually like the Taya character. Um, yeah. One of Jessica's authors was Bess. No, was Wes. Let me tell you something. I love her author Wes. There was There was something about Jessica Smith there acting like a man that was just like it was just fucking priceless. Wes, I mean, obviously Tess was like everyone's favorite. Everyone knew who Tess was, but like Wes was like my favorite. Wes was my favorite. Yeah, Wes was my favorite one. Eagle says, I like Todd character, but come on, there is way of violating you feelings, but you love someone you don't throw her out and go find her and lie about Star being sick. What was the reason Taya kept Daniel a secret from Todd? I forgot. Or her. I feel like there's one that's missing. I don't know why. Maybe that is or maybe that is or her alters. Francis says Willow may be showing love for Drew on the outside, but on the inside, she still hates him and probably still wants him dead. Well, yeah, I mean, again, why do you think that she manipulated him into that confrontation with Carly and Jason? She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing, and she knew exactly how to sit there and play him. This may have called Blair she devil, but he didn't let that stop him from marrying her. Yeah, when he married Asian Blair. Yeah, let's get that shit correct. He married Asian Blair, and then years later on, she was Caucasian. Exactly. She wanted that form of control. She wanted that. Yeah, she wanted that level of control. So like she knew what she was doing. Mm. Now Jay Blue says, "Isn't true love accepting everything about someone unconditionally?" Well, I guess that depends, though, right? Like accepting everything about somebody. What if that conflicts with your sense of morals? Ideally, yes, but yeah. But no, you're correct though. Yeah. He says I don't mind rewatching reruns Ace of Clubs on like to live in the '90s, something about the old timers. Yeah. And you know why, Eagle? Because they didn't have a filter. They weren't sitting there trying to be politically correct. They just said what was on their mind and well, if it just happened to offend you, oh well. That's the truth of the matter. They had no problem because they had no filters. Lori says Albert has morals. Albert has to get feelings first. Well, I mean, you know, Darby, there's a difference between not having feelings and just being a dick. Like I'm just a dick. Like you know, this was more about Taya putting up with Todd's bad behavior. I'm not gonna lie, Jay Blue. I kind of am too. Ego says the problem with so say it feels too fantasy and lost touch with the reality aspects. You can mix the both together and come up with the magic. Yeah, I agree with that. But like I said, also, like Victor. I mean, like both Victors, but more like Victor Kiriakis. Like he had no filter. Like he just didn't give a shit. Johnson says, "What do you think Sophia's endgame is, and what will she do once Ari catches her out in the square?" Well, let's be honest. Ari and her are friends, so she's most likely not going to sit there and rat her out. And probably her endgame is to sit there and take the baby. Her end game is probably sit there and take the baby. Use Rachel, take the baby, because ultimately, yes, I'm assuming that's going to be her end game. She's probably going to sit there and find a way to fuck with um Tait and Holly, because why not? I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about. The dude from General Hospital. But I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't. It's like okay, fine. I guess the show they feel like the show is getting boring, so they need somebody to do something. So unfortunately, we gotta sit there and deal with Sophia. Listen, I'm more cool with them dealing with that whole stalker situation. Um, them acting like a bunch of jackasses and probably blaming Jeremy again. Here's the thing, when this whole thing comes out, they better sit there and literally grovel at Jeremy's feet when they find out that Jeremy didn't do anything. Um, and that's just number one. And I had a number two, and I can't remember what it was. I can't remember it. And also, so if you notice, Alex has been sitting there having what they call baby fever, right? He's been sitting there talking about settling down and having kids and everything like that. Meanwhile, we know that Joy out there has his child. So I'm like, are they gonna actually revisit that? Are they gonna bring that back? Like, what are they doing with that? Because they put that shit on ice for like almost a year. She just decided to just skip town with this man's baby, like, and she gonna come up with some sort of bullshit reason why she did. But like, are they gonna revisit that, or are they just gonna sit there and act like, we just have amnesia, and we just totally forgot about it? That's my question. I guess time will tell, and if they get enough pushback. And I keep forgetting to tell Jess something too. Which Jess, let me know if you're in the chat. I did this shit yesterday too, and I was like, fuck. That's actually really funny. I thought about that, and I was like, I don't know why Jay Blue, but it made me think about Melinda and how many times does she lose on Days of Our Lives, and yet yeah, she still kept her job for the most part. Like, yes, Jonathan, and we're gonna sit there and see. Like, apparently he has some sort of mark on his hand. Um, I don't know. I don't know about this character. Like, I don't think he's a bad character. Have a good night, GH fan. Thank you for joining tonight, and have a good week. And I'll see you next week. Um, I like the actor. Right, I like the actor. The actor seems like he's a pretty chill guy. Um, I don't know if they brung in his son just to then like try to humanize him a little bit more, have a certain level of sympathy for him. Like even the fact that like he sat there and said he had a son out of nowhere was just like maybe on a subconscious level they want us to sit there and be a little more easier on him because let's be honest, I don't care about the fact that he is illiterate or whatever, right? Okay, whatever. It's his attitude that just makes him come across as a fucking loser. Um, and the fact that he also didn't bump into Theo when he was supposed to be, he's supposed to be a bully from Theo's past, and I guess maybe they will bump into each other along the way. Like this whole tough guy, toothpick in the mouth thing, it's not exactly working for me, to be honest. That would be interesting. That would be interesting, Jonathan, if they do. Yeah. Isn't me or what, but I kind of like Luna. Is it because she brings like I don't know, because she brings like excitement to the show or interest to the show or something? Yeah, Darby has a son. I felt like he said it when he tried to rob Cat. He said that he needed to get like some food for his son or whatever. Um, I don't know if that was like I don't know if that was like a way of like a sympathy ploy, but he did sit there and say he had a son. And yeah, we're supposed to see him next week. Oh, you mean like Laura? But yeah, yeah, he has a son. We're supposed to see him sometime next week. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, Darby, Laura should have never had that job. And I mean, like, she shouldn't have had that job because Spencer did sit there and tamper with the, with the votes or whatever. So, like, she really shouldn't have had that job. And then, of course, like her constant hanging out and being around and hanging out with Sonny and stuff like that definitely did not do her any favors. Um, I mean, let's be honest. If let me put it this way, if Laura was not the mayor, she would probably even have less of a use on this show. Use on the show. Like I said, the conversation between Laura and Sonny just seems so fucking pointless. Like it really did. This is one of those things where it's like, God damn it! See, this is exactly why when I was well, I'm not gonna say this person's name. I was like, certain people kind of needed to leave the show like a long time ago. Like General Hospital can definitely use, and not to sit there and say they don't have, not to sit there and say that like they don't have fresh blood, but like some of these people are just their stories and their characters just expired a long fucking time ago. And that's the thing, Jay Blue. Like Laura best stuff was like in the '80s, particularly like the '80s going into the '90s. '70s was like you know late '80s, early '90s. Shaquanda says, for a gangster, Sonny does let a lot of people get over him. That's exactly what you call said. Jess, I think it was too. I think it was too. Jay Bloom, because it did seem like kind of left field that they just went there. Like they were talking about the mob and like they could have brought that up at any point in time. So yeah, he says I thought the new young guy on one I was supposed to be. Yeah, yes. If you saw the previews, that's exactly who. That's the new RJ. If you're talking about the previews, then yes. When Ridge and isn't it talking to Brick like I mean Brooke like oh our son is home. They're talking about RJ. So yeah, that's new RJ. Jonathan did sit there and say something along those lines like a couple of days ago. Yeah, yeah, we missed that ruthless side though. I don't remember Sitwell sitting there saying that he works for somebody. But then again, I could be wrong. Oh wait, never mind. He did sit there and say like, the boss is he's one of the results and stuff like that. I do remember him sitting there saying that. Speaking of annoying characters, Chanel from Days is top three annoying characters of all time. You can't talk to her. Yes, exactly. Listen, even I was sitting there saying that shit from jump. Like even from um here's my whole thing. Okay, one of the things I didn't like about Chanel in this episode, she yeah, it became a mantra. What I didn't like was the fact that she put words in his mouth. One of the things she was meant to say was she was like, well, Johnny Smith they're acting like I'm choosing this baby over Trey. And it's like, well, he didn't say that. He didn't it was like she okay, either she was putting words in his mouth or she was sitting there blowing the stuff that he said out of proportion. Who's more annoying, Chanel, Stephanie, or Paulina? I'll probably sit there and say Chanel because Paulina just comes across as more cringe than anything else, and Stephanie is also kind of cringe, and she's kind of annoying. But like Chanel and that attitude, no, that shit's gotta go. Like I said today, she was literally sitting there. She was literally sitting there putting words in his mouth, and I'm like, yo, he didn't say that. Like I watched the whole episode yesterday. Like he did not say that. Like you're literally. It's okay if you want to sit there and vent to your mom, but like don't sit there and start making up shit that he didn't sit there and say. Like we're not gonna do that. Um, Happy night, Jay Bloom. And my whole thing is like the thing with Johnny is that he is more concerned. He's not. He's not. She's trying to make it seem like he just doesn't want to have another kid. Like oh, it's just too expensive. Like he's concerned for her health and well being. My whole thing is like, you married this man and you want him to be honest with you. If you only want him to be honest with you when it's convenient for you, you know? And that's my whole thing, though. It's like she's acting like he's coming at her in this malicious manner, and that's not what he's doing. It's like when she starts acting like that, it gets to a point. It's like, okay, you know what? I can't deal with you. I mean, I deal with her because just what I do, but like I'm not gonna lie. Usually, I'm on my phone and I'm just like they're just creating like AI videos and shit because I'm like, and I'll listen, but I'll turn back and like, oh yeah, she's still at it. Okay, cool. Yeah, she's definitely a fucking problem. I'll sit there and say, without a doubt. And I think that's why Paulina didn't sit there and give him the smoke or really like gave him an attitude because she understands that Johnny's not like Johnny's coming from a place of concern, but she knows how her daughter is. She is react first, think later on. But yes, have a good night, J Blow. Stephanie is annoying. Frederick says, I don't like Chanel, but I'm on her side. If she wants to keep the baby, let her keep it. If Johnny don't want it, he can go be with his dad, be a deadbeat like Drew. Well, I I think that's kind of like overly simplifying it, but okay. I don't think it's as black and white as what you just described it. Yeah, I don't think it's as black and white as you just described it, but because again, it's not they're saying like I don't want you to have a baby because of whatever. It's like is that and that's not. Thank you, Darby. Yeah, I don't think somebody that is in his tax bracket can sit there and be deadbeat. Like he may, I feel like it's more of an absentee dad than like a deadbeat dad. Um, No, but it's just coming from a place of concern. He's not just saying, "Well, you're not going to have her. I don't want you to have her because I don't want to have another baby." It's like, no, I don't want you to fucking die. Um, I want you here with me, and I want you here with Trey. You know, and all he's not there saying is, at the very least, can we sit there and just listen to the doctors? He's not just saying, "Well, I'm going to tie you up," or "You're going to shut up and just do it." Like that's how she's not there. Like she is being overly defensive. Um, I can't. But that's just me. Exactly, dog. That's what I'm saying. Like he's probably like not physically there most of the times. He definitely emotionally checked out of being in his daughter's life in a sense. But like money wise, no. Shaquan, I think that's the $1 million question that hopefully we'll find out in the next 2 weeks. I say next 2 weeks, and that's being generous. Um, because here's the thing, I'll be surprised if he decides to turn on Willow and be like, "Oh, you shot me? You shot me?" Like, but I think most people are expecting him to still be in love with Willow and still, forgive Willow and stuff like that. And like that would be a really good shock if Drew decides to turn on Willow. And then Willow would be like, "Oh well, I need Michael to protect me," or some shit like that. I can totally see a storyline like that, maybe them playing out. And then Michael will probably do it, not for her, but for the kids. Okay, I'm about to tell you the rest of the how the theory is gonna go. And then Willow will start to have developing feelings for Michael. And Michael will be with Jacinda, and maybe Willow will sit there and plot to break those two up, like Nell was doing when Michael was sit there dating other women. Since people want to sit there and say she's like Nell 2.0, maybe she will sit there and try to sabotage Michael's relationship with Jacinda. So I feel like that's how, seriously, Jerry, I feel like that's how that will probably play out. Probably laugh at what you call it first. Laugh at you first. Jerry says I think Kristen and Rafe are going to team up because surprise, surprise, Kristen is going to blame AJ and get revenge on him with Rafe's help. I'd be surprised if actually Rafe goes through with it. You know, because that's not something I can see Rafe doing. He seems like he's usually like the morality one, you know, and not about like cutting corners or working with a criminal and stuff like that. Like, I'd be really surprised. But at the same time, it'll be interesting. I don't know. And part of me does kind of sit there and look at Chris in the way that she's coming at AJ, like, you might be doing a little bit too much. Like, you might be doing just a tad bit too much. Yes, he did sit there and kind of back you into a corner or push you into telling the truth or confessing, but like you did fucking confess. Let's not. I said a while ago that both like you did sit there and confess, and then you chose to sit there and stay in jail. So let's not sit there and try to act like EJ was this massive bully and like he just was not going to let his son go to jail for a crime that your daughter committed. Not exactly a mother of the year. You don't even want her to go to Ferncliff to actually get help. Johnson says Rafe could have Kristen wear wire and get. Well, yes, that's another way I could sit there and see it going, right? I can see it going that way because you wouldn't be breaking any laws and stuff like that. So I think if it was done that way, then yes. Yep, good point, Jonathan. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here because unfortunately I do have to wake up early again. Not at like I have to be up at 4 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock, so I get an hour more sleep. Whatever good that will actually do, but I'll take it. Now, as far as members, I'll be back tomorrow, so definitely come through. Everybody else, become a member, and hopefully I'll sit there and see ya. And yeah, have a good night. Have a good night, Panhandle. Have a good night, Tomas. Yeah, Jonathan, early morning, unfortunately. Have a good night, Shaquana. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night, Cherry Ice Cream. Have a good night, Darby. Have a nice spider quake. Have a good night. They are. That's why I usually take naps after I get out of work. They're fucking rough. Um, but have a good night, Queen Jess. Have a good night, Spider Quake. Have a good night, Black Mom. Johnson says, join us next time for another edition of Soul Chat with Apostolic. Thank you. Hit the like button because it really does actually help. I think I said that. Have a good night, Cherry Ice Cream. Tomas, thank you for coming through. There we go. Have a nice Spider Quake. Thank you, Cherry. Cherry also didn't see you tomorrow on Sunday. Um, yeah, like I said, if you're not a member, definitely come through. It'll be a lot of fun this week. So got some good stuff planned. So definitely come through. Johnson says, "Good night, everyone. Hit the like button. Thank you. Yes, hit that like button. Seriously, it really does actually help." Yes, thank you, Cherry. Have a good night, Eagle. Thank you for joining as always. Appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next one. Fly Quick says if Kyrie's goes live today, maybe see you later. If not, see you Wednesday unless you stream Monday or Tuesday. If it's good. Yeah, if I can, Spider. Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, I kept checking to sit there and see if Kyrie's was streaming tonight, but I don't see anything posted, so but it's still like 5 minutes to 10, so he may decide to go on a little bit later on, so we'll see. But either way, have a good night, everyone, and you too, Spider Quick, and everyone else.